Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's talk about some September favorites. I have been thinking about products that have kind of risen to the top this month. I did try some products that were like not my absolute faves, and we'll talk about that. And I'm not saying that they were bad products, they just didn't work for me. We'll get into the fails in a minute. But one of the products that I knew I wanted to try, and I was super excited when it landed on my doorstep, and I can't stop reaching for it. And it's because it seems like it'd be a really basic palette. I'm just gonna show it to you, the Danessa Myricks Groundwork Defining Neutrals palette, because it's a neutrals palette. I mean, how many neutrals palettes do you already have in your collection? If you are a makeup obsessed person like I am, I could probably pull out 10 or more neutrals palettes, but they're either going to be like a face palette with products like for cheeks, or they're going to be an eye palette. And I'm not saying there aren't combos of like eyes and cheeks and things like that. There are products out there like that. But this is interesting because it's not trying to be just one thing. It's like, here I am, use me how you want. And I think that's the part that's the most interesting to me, is that it's not an eyeshadow palette, it's not a face contouring palette, it's just a palette. And the fact that these formulas, there's two of them in here. There is a velvet pomade and there is a powder that goes along with it in a coordinating color. Because these are infinitely, you can use them in so many different ways, I have really been intrigued by this. I think there's like maybe, I think the only shade I haven't been in is this one right here. And I'm not a big, like really rusty orangey fan, but I've been in every other one of them. Like that's the only one that was like, that's completely untouched, but all the rest of them I've been in. But what I really like about this palette is I'll link the video for you here and in the description box down below where I try it for the first time. I use it as contour. I use it as bronzer. I use it to fill in my eyebrows. I use it for my entire eye look. I use it to line my lips with. Like I did so much with this. I think the one that I'm gonna go through the quickest is this shade here called, I had to wipe it off, it's so covered in product. It's called Chiseled. And it's kind of like the cooler, what would work for me as a contour shade, but I love this like in the eye, in the crease of the eye with a little bit of powder to set, and that's it. I've been using this one a lot. I've also been using the one down here in Stone and this one in Sandstone. So kind of like the lighter side of these, but if you were to look down here in this black shade called Tourmaline, oh, I've used it a ton for lining my eye, for kind of canceling out the gaps in between my lashes. And I'm not saying that it's in my waterline. It's, here's what I'm doing. Here's another favorite this month. This brush right here, this is the BK Beauty 208. This is a teeny tiny angled brush. And this is the one that I've been using both in the velvet pomade and in the powder here. And I'm not actually using it as, sometimes I'm using it as liner, but when I'm not putting it as liner, I'm using it to kind of get in between my lashes, right where the lashes grow out. So not the waterline, not above the lashes, but like in between the lashes themselves, the individual lashes. I'll take some of this, I'll jab it in there, and then I'll take some of the powder to set, and it stays all day. And what it does is, since I have fair skin, it blanks out those little teeny tiny gaps that are in between the eyelash hairs themselves to be able to just make my lash line look thicker. And it gives me the look of tight lining without having whatever is in my upper waterline when I blink transfer to the lower. I find that when I want a slightly understated but still beautiful neutral, like all over look, this pulls it out, and it's like a 10 out of 10. If you like interesting new formulations, if you're looking for something that you could take with you, if you're traveling, I think this would be great. The other thing that's amazing about this is, guess what? It's refillable. Both pans are in here magnetically. And I think, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming that means that they're going to be putting out refillable pans. So when I go through Chiseled or Sandstone or the Shade and Stone, I can just get that one and put it in here. But the packaging is beautiful. The product is, I love this. I love this. And I think that out of all of the new neutral palettes out there, this is the one that I'm going to continue coming back to. And I really, really like. All right. The other palette that I've been obsessed with is this. And I know this is, okay, it's new, but in the grand scheme of like YouTube, no one's really talking about it other than as a favorite. This Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, I'm wearing this in tandem with another favorite this month, but like the sparkles in this, oh my goodness. They are on another level. These are just like completely magical. I love this so much. I love this so much. So I have been using this a ton. And what's interesting is even though I feel like I'm getting the same look over and over and over again, even though I'm using different shades in here, because there are, you know, some shades that are similar, like this one here and this one here. There's a slightly deeper version of it. We have some cool kind of taupey tones or slightly different versions of them. Or even like these metallics here, like sometimes they read very similar on the eye. I'm sure that if you're more skilled with makeup than I am, or if you're a pro artist, you can always get a different look from this. But I feel like most of the times when I reach for this, even though I'm kind of using different eyeshadows, I'm getting a very similar look, but I love it. Love it, love it. So I'm wearing this today, and this has been one of those things that I'm glad I waited for the right Natasha Denona palette for me. I have the Metropolis palette and I have a couple of others, but I haven't purchased one like by choice on my own in a long time until this. And I'm glad I waited because she is beautiful, she is perfect, and I'm head over heels for the looks I'm getting from this. I must have got sunscreen in my eye because my left eye is just nonstop weeping. So if I have like less makeup over here later throughout the video, you'll know what's up. All right, so other things I have been loving this month. Okay, this is the combo. I wasn't expecting this to be the combo right here. I do really like the new Glossier Fluid Stretch Foundation. And I find that I'm reaching for it because first of all, I was trying to get to know it, but then after I feel like I got to know it, it's because it's so easy. All right, I don't think this foundation is for everybody. I feel like this foundation works really well if you want like medium or less coverage. If you are a full coverage sort of person, I don't know if this is gonna get you there. I feel like this doesn't really build that well for me. So I have to get like, you know, I'll give myself a pump. The other thing is she's kind of thick. It's very viscous. It's not one of those products that, you know, if I leave it here, it's not gonna drip down. It's gonna stay right there. But you're getting kind of medium-ish coverage at most. When I try and go over it and build it a little bit more, I can get some building, usually not a lot. This to me is kind of like my get one layer on and blend it the way I like it, set it, and we're good. What my favorite thing about this is that this foundation doesn't need to go everywhere. If you get the right shade match, you can use it just where you need it. And that's the sort of thing that I like, especially this month I've been wearing, and unless I'm recording, I'm wearing a lot less makeup overall. I'm still recovering from the surgery I had a month ago. And there are days that I'm just in bed, no makeup, me and my crochet and my iPad, I'm watching a show and I'm making a sweater. That's kind of been like 50-50 of this month, is like I've been laying low doing nothing. But on the days that I do want to put on some makeup but I don't want to put on a full face, I've been reaching for this. The one thing I will tell you, since I'm 48 years old, I do find that because I do have these expression lines here, it can settle in there even if I set it. It's less likely to happen if I set it, and I feel like a loose powder does better for me than a pressed powder for setting in my expression lines. But for me, what I'm loving about this is the glow that it gives. I'm using the shade Very Light 2. It's the second lightest shade, but it's glowy, it's beautiful. It makes my skin look radiant without being greasy. I feel like this is one of those products that if you had oily skin, you may not like this. I find I get about 10 to 12 hours of wear out of it before I start having my oils crop through on my nose and, you know, like, oh, no more foundation, it's all gone. I feel like the oils can kind of eat this up. So this is for somebody who likes medium or lighter coverage, who only wants to wear a little bit of foundation. This is not for full coverage people, but I really have been liking it because it does the same thing that their stretch concealer does, which is to give me coverage just where I want it and just the right amount. I will tell you, I have the shade Very Light 2 in this. It's a little bit lighter than the original shade I used to love and wear all the time, which is G11. The formula is the same. I feel like this has just been, like the shade range has been expanded in their stretch concealer, but this has really been a surprise to me. I haven't been reaching for this month, but I've been in love with the foundation. So the concealer that has really kind of been front and center and I've been using nonstop and I really like a lot is the new Tower 28 Swipe All Over Radiant Concealer. I have the second lightest shade. This is the shade BU. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Here's what I'll tell you. I do find that even though this is a really nice shade match for me, it's close to my skin tone. Underneath my eyes, this is really radiant. And I don't know if I'm using too much, but I have to really thin it out, which means I'm kind of thinning out the coverage. But when I get just the right layer, not too much, not too little, my under eyes look better. And I don't need a lot of powder to set this. I do feel like it does settle a little bit, but at this point at 48 with those fine lines under my eyes, everything settles. Everything settles, but it's the moisture that I like in this. It's the way that it sits under my eyes. It looks really, really nice. And I feel like compared to some of the more higher end, more expensive concealers I've been trying this year, the one from Givenchy, the one from Tom Ford, I have some other ones. I feel like this is like right middle of the road and a lot of people are gonna like this. I think this is gonna work well. I have used this just like spot concealing, no foundation, blended out, beautiful skin. This works great that way if you're that sort of person, but it also works really well to take down hyperpigmentation, redness around the face if I have a breakout, or redness around the corners of my nose. It looks natural. And it's got a little bit of radiance, so it's not like a really matte or dry sort of concealer. The older I get, the less well I work with that. I do need a little radiance. And this one's beautiful. I really have been liking this. And I find that I'm still trying to figure out just too much, not enough. I'm wearing it today with the corrector underneath my eyes. And I feel like to make sure that I'm not getting, you know, too much product where everything settles and creases because it's too emollient, just enough of this, just enough corrector, and it's fabulous. And on the days that I want to wear just one thing, I'll put this on, and I always like by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, oh, I wish I put a corrector down. So if you have really dark circles, you may want a little bit more, but as a just regular concealer, she's stunning. I have really been liking for easy days the Solo Shadows from Merit. I am wearing this shade here. This is Mid-Century. I'm wearing this. I had it kind of buffed all over the eye, and I had it darker on the lid and softly buffed out into the crease, and I had it on the lower lash line, and then I was like, I want some sparkle, so I reached for the Natasha Denona, but this is what I started out with, and there have been a lot of days this month that I'm reaching just for this. The shade Mid-Century is beautiful because it is, it's warm. I don't like using my finger with this because, okay, it's a pretty shade. I feel like my fingers are like little sausages and my sausage fingers do not do a really good job blending. I like blending these with a synthetic brush. I kind of have been thinking about maybe getting the new Solo Shadow brush from Merit, the number 2 brush, but I've been using kind of like a fluffy synthetic brush like this for like buffing it out on the lash line, and then something that's short and dense like this for right along like the lower lash line, or getting it in specific areas. I had been using before like white goat hair. I just feel like my white goat hair is a little bit too delicate, and this is kind of like a sturdy formula. This is the sort of formula that dries quickly. You want to work one eye at a time. And if you like kind of like a sheer lightweight wash, you'll like this. If you have oily eyelids, it might break up on your eyelids. You might get some creasing. I find that if I don't actually make sure that my eyelids are completely bare of skincare, because as I'm putting my skincare on with my hands in the morning, sometimes it can get everywhere. So there will be times that I'll take a cotton round with micellar water over just my lid to make sure that this doesn't crease. This works beautiful that way. This is one of those products though that once it sets, like, she doesn't budge, not at all. It's like not going anywhere. I am so impressed by this formula, but you don't want to not blend it and think, oh, I'll come back in 30. No, one eye, blend it, get it just how you want, move to the other. But the one thing I was able to do today was, you know, get a light wash here, put a little bit over here. Oh, you know what? I want more color. So it builds pretty well on itself. It's pretty hardy. It stays put. I do have the darker shade in Viper somewhere around here, which is a dark green shade. I've been using that as liner. I have used it on my lid, but not as much as this. This kind of neutral. I've been craving, obviously, with the Danessa Myricks and the Natasha Denona, I've been craving neutrals. and mid-century, beautiful. I don't know why I thought I needed new blushes. I've been buying so much blush this year, but these new Pillow Plush blushes from M, I love 3 out of the 4 blush formulas from M. The serum blush, I know so many people love those color drops, but I can't figure them out as well. They take too much hand holding for me, but this new formula here is so beautiful. These launched, I think, in August, but August was a kind of like a dumpster fire for me. I had brain surgery, I had a lot of things to do beforehand. I was feeling like terrible afterwards. So I missed the launch of these, and I picked these up when they launched some new shades of a existing product in their line, but these are so velvety soft. The color is beautiful. This is the shade Peanut. These blend like no effort at all. Love. Love, love, love. There's only 2 shades and I picked them both up. I like that we have a warm one, and this cool one in Tickled is so pretty. You can definitely build these up for like more coverage if you want like more color, but I like that they can also be whisper soft, especially for someone like me who has fair skin, but look how pretty they are. So this is Tickled, this is Peanut. They're just super easy. And I like that the component is like a little magnetic component. I like that a lot. I feel like the mirror is okay. I need a bigger mirror though. But I like how the packaging is domed. I don't know. It just feels really elegant, really pretty. And I like, since these have come in, today is the first day that I picked something else to wear other than these. But I love M blushes, and these new ones are fantastic. So the reason I made that purchase was they came out with new velvet lip creams. So their So Soft Velvet lip creams have been something I've loved since they launched them last year. I think I had 4 shades, and then when they came out with 3 new shades, I got 2 of the 3 new shades. The one I've been addicted to is the shade Flirt. This is a kind of liquid formula because it's, you know, it's liquid makes it sound like a liquid lipstick, and it's not like your traditional liquid lipstick. This is matte. This is very moussey. It has the ability to kind of blur out at the edges if you want to put it on lightly and blur it out. It looks really pretty. It feels really nourishing on the lips. They came out with a new shade, a red shade, and I've been dying for a red shade. So this is the shade Flirt. The other shade I picked up is a cooler toned kind of mauve. This one is called Hush. It's so pretty, but I feel like Hush is like my lips but better, and Flirt is the red that I've been waiting for. But you can see how pretty they are when they're blurred out, or you can wear them with a little bit of lip liner and kind of really pile them on for more pigment, but they look pretty when they're blurred out and kind of like that slightly undone lip look, or you can get them to look really crisp. I do like how hydrating they are, and the reason I picked these up, September began and I started reaching for the other ones of these that I have, but I was craving different colors. A lot of the other colors I have more of a warmth to them, a little bit more terracotta, a little bit more brown leaning, and I was definitely looking for some bolder, maybe moodier colors. I'm really trying to rein myself in because I want to go back and get their deep plum shade called Wednesday. I haven't done it yet. I've been telling myself I've been buying enough other stuff that can wait, but I do love this formula. And what prompted that purchase was the fact that I was reaching for these guys so much in the beginning of this month. I told you about a BK Beauty brush earlier. I have been using these so much. This one right here is the 110. I have been using this for setting my under eye, for setting the corners of my nose, for getting powder right here into my expression lines in my forehead. I really like this brush, and I like that it's smaller. I know it's supposed to be a concealer brush, but I've been using it as a kind of more pinpoint setting brush where I can get the powder just where I want it and I don't have to put it all over, because I've been only setting like my T-zone and under my eyes, and this is great for getting it just there but leaving my cheeks bare for cream or for liquid products. But I also have been loving this guy here. This is the 105. And I picked this up. I thought it was going to be a powder brush, but I've been using it for bronzer. I used it today with my Gucci bronzer, and it's just so beautiful. It diffuses perfectly. It never puts on too much. I love the quality of these BK brushes. I need more. I'm just going to say that. I need more. Other things I've been loving this month. Here is one that is not at all makeup, but is body related. If you love a good moisturizer. Oh my goodness. So this is the Great Body Relief from Crave. This is 6.75 fluid ounces, and it has a beautiful formula to it. I like that Crave's formulas are very simple. I've been in love with the Great Barrier Relief, which is their repairing serum that's good at building up your skin barrier. Since they released it, I've never been without. I use it daily, morning and night. It's a favorite. And it took me a while to try this because they've had this for probably a year now. And I finally picked up one during the summer. I think I'm down to here. I need to order another one. Oh my goodness. So it leaves my skin super hydrated and there's no fragrance. No fragrance. The other thing I like about this is that it does have the tamanu oil, ceramides, squalane, glycerin, rosehip oil. I've been obsessed with this on my legs. Here's where I admit I'm really good at moisturizing like from the chest up. Really bad at moisturizing everything else. I don't have a lot of moisture my hands almost look like a decade older than everything else because I'm not good at keeping them moisturized. And my legs, oh my goodness, they look like they're from a 148-year-old person. But this is great, super hydrating. When I put this on out of the shower, it moisturizes my skin. It sinks in. I don't ever have to worry about transfer to clothes or to anything else. And at the end of the day, there are some other ones that I've tried that I feel like I need to hose it off before I get in bed, or I'm gonna stick to my sheets. And it's been all day. Why do I still have a layer of this? This is beautiful. I'm almost out of it. I'm like down to here. Gotta order another one. Really love this. Finally did it. I finally tried the Beauty of Joseon like sun milk. What is this called? Officially, this is the Sun Relief Rice and Probiotics SPF 50 4+ PA rating. This is a stunning SPF. I know everybody was talking about it when it went viral the first time, like a year and a half ago. You couldn't find it anywhere. I bought it in a duo pack from Olali. I really, really like that. But this is a beautiful glowy SPF. Most of August, I was using the one from Hamish. And then when I finished that one, I cracked into this. I've been kind of looking for an SPF. My favorite SPF and the one that I repurchased the most is the one from Crave. It's the Beat the Sun, but it's only an SPF 40. I have really, really been wanting an SPF 50. So when I saw this one in a duo pack, I'm like, well, let me try it. Like I've gotten through a large portion of it. I love it. It's super hydrating. It does leave for really glowy skin. If you want something that's more of like a matte finish, you're maybe not gonna like this. But if you want to use this as your sole source of hydration as well as SPF, remember that you're wanting to use a 1/4 teaspoon on your face and a 1/4 teaspoon on like your neck and chest. So you're going through it. And I feel like that's how I've been kind of plowing through this, is remembering that I'm, doing like 3 fingers worth, and I'm using 1.5 fingers for up here. If you're wondering what that looks like, all right, I'm sure you can find it anywhere on the internet, but so what I end up doing is doing, 3 fingers like that. Since I'm not putting it on my face, I won't put it more on. But I love how glowy and hydrating this is. I like that we are getting a high level of SPF with a 4+ PA rating. You can't get higher than that. I feel like that's what I've been craving. That's what I've been wanting. Although I still do like the one from Crave Beauty. I know that the owner of Crave, Leah Yu, is, I think right now in the lab working on another SPF. I think she's also wanting to find a formulation with a higher SPF level, but still love the Crave, still using the Crave, but instead of cracking into a new tube of it when I finished my last Beat Shield, I opened this instead. In love, in love. This is my last favorite. I've been using this so much. It's what I'm wearing today. This is the Milani Fruit Fetish Lip Oil. This is their they have 4 new shades in their nudes line. This one here is the Blackberry Agave. Oh my goodness. It is so nice. Okay, so you might remember that I've been kind of obsessed with lip oils. Yeah. And when I saw that Milani came out with nude shades of this is what it looks like. I love that it's affordable. I love that it's drugstore. It is very reminiscent of the Clarins in color. I feel like the Clarins one's a little bit more, well, it's maybe a little warmer. So when I bought this midsummer, it was, I think, $24, $26. I think it's now $29. Drugstore, affordable. I think I got it at Ulta for like $10.99 or something, but I'm sure you can find it someplace else for less. But this is the one in Blackberry Agave from Milani. And this is the one here from Clarins. This is the shade Chocolate. I've been obsessed with the shade Chocolate. I feel like the formulations are different. I feel like the one from Clarins is a little bit more oil-like, a little bit sheerer on the lips. It's not quite as pigmented. But I feel like the one from Milani hangs on just a little bit longer. It feels more like a gloss, less like an oil. The one from Clarins feels more like an oil, but I still love this. I probably would still repurchase it, but if you're on a budget and you like that color and that non-goopy, hydrating, not a gloss, more of a lip oil, oh my goodness, these Milani ones are great. And if you want to try the new nudes line, I've been wanting to get like all four of them. Like, you don't need 4 new lip oils. I just got the one I thought I would use the most, and it's Blackberry Agave. Love, 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 love. I did have some fails. I did try another lip oil. I got one of the new ones from Juvia's Place. Okay, it's not really a fail. It's just okay. I got one for myself, one for my daughter. She got the blueberry. I got the one in watermelon, and it looks like a clear gloss. It smells faintly of watermelon. It's something to write home about. I do like their matte lipsticks. I do like their lip liners. I feel like this is just an okay gloss. It's better than some other drugstore lip oils or lip glosses that I've tried, but I don't love it and I don't have to have it. Obsessed. All right, something else that I tried from Juvia's Place, and this is the part that is so hard because when I swatched it in store, both my 15-year-old and I were kind of like, oh my goodness, get it, it's so beautiful. And then my Ulta didn't have it, so I had to order it. And it's their liquid highlight. These came out, I think, like late spring, early summer. And I know that the liquid blushes from Juvia's Place have gone viral. Everybody loves them. They're beautiful. The reason that I don't like this, and I think part of it is my age, and I think part of it is also that it's, okay, this is the lightest shade. This one here is Starstruck. So pretty when you start to blend it out. It's stunning, but it is extremely emollient. So when I put this down on top of, you know, foundation, cream blush, you know, cream bronzer, liquid bronzer, anything like that, guess who eats through it all? This guy here. I mean, and it's super pretty. So this is pretty on a day when, you know, maybe you're better at applying things like this than I am. I like the way it looks. It also can at times be a little spangly on my 48-year-old, you know, crow's feet textured area right through here. My 15-year-old likes it. I'll probably give it to her. She'll probably like really enjoy it, but she doesn't wear nearly as much makeup as I do. And she wears foundation like maybe 4 times a month, maybe once a week. And I think that she would probably like this better than I do. I like the look of it. I like the shade of it. I like the way that it feels, but I don't like that it's so emollient. It eats through whatever I already have down on my cheeks. So maybe the best thing to do is, you know, put this down and then build on top. But I don't do a lot of underpainting, so this didn't work for me. Here's another product. I liked a lot of the stuff that I tried from the Stylovana video, which I'll link for you here. This is the one that is just not for me, and this is the water tint from Etude. This is, I forget what shade this is. I think this is like the strawberry shade. It's pretty. I'm not going to swatch it for you because I don't want a stain on my hand, but I find that these sorts of really liquid tints like the Benetint or this or other ones that are similar to this, now that I'm dealing with a lot of lines around the edges of my lips, when I put this on, it just kind of instantly finds those lines and like whoop, spiders out. I also don't know that I've ever been successful at blending this into like the cheeks as a blush, but once it sets, it's there all day. So if you like that and you know how to use these, this is not a product that I was ever good at mastering, and now that I'm older, it doesn't work on my lips. My 15-year-old might like it, but it's very much a pink tint. This was not for me. Another product, okay, I think this is a know yourself. What type of makeup user are you? Because I loved the way that this mascara looked. I liked the way that it wore, but it was almost impossible to get off. And it's one, I tried this on during my Stylovana video. This is the Heroin Makes Long Up Mascara, super waterproof. So this is, I think, is a Japanese mascara. And It has fibers in it. It has kind of like a slightly curved wand, but the fibers build the most long and luscious eyelashes. Oh my goodness, I got the best lashes. Loved that. And I love that I didn't have to worry about it touching up here because the lashes were so long that my lashes curled up and touched up here. I didn't have any little dots of mascara transfer. I didn't have like it puddling in the corners. I didn't have any smudging underneath my eye. It was fabulous. Wore like a champ all day long. But do you know how hard I had to work to get this off? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So if you are somebody who deals with a lot of, you know, smudging from your mascara, she will not smudge. If you have shorter lashes and you want really long lashes, this will give it to you. But please know that you're gonna have to work with an oil cleanser or a balm cleanser to get it off. And then after that, I would go in with like micellar water or a biphase oil makeup remover on a Q-tip to get right. Like I worked to get this off, and I don't want to work that hard, which is why I'm kind of in love with tubing mascaras. Last product. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. These are the new Lisa Eldridge Seamless Glide Eye Pencils. Okay. I don't know that if I say they're a fail, they're a fail. I feel like these are a fail because of the way they were marketed. They were marketed as budge proof, 16-hour, sets down after 40 seconds. Not really. All right, so let's see. There's nothing on my hand, it's clean. I'm gonna make a mark now and I'll start a timer and I'll tell you how long it's been. We're gonna do two things here. I'm just gonna use one shade. I love the shades that I got. Okay, so this is the one in Ground Coffee. Give me a second to start like a timer here. All right, we're counting down. Okay, for application, these glide so, like the Seamless Glide, perfect name. They slide right on, they're beautiful. I'm actually wearing one today. The one that I can't stop wearing is the one in Renaissance Gold. I love this shade. It's so pretty. So Renaissance Gold is right here. It has kind of like a darkened, blackened base to it. I did use that little teeny tiny 208 brush from a BK Beauty, the angled brush, picked some of this up on there and shoved it into my lash line. And then I also used it to create a wing today. But I like that this shade is not too dark. It's not too much, but it does bring some drama because if I, as somebody with really fair skin, you know, line my upper and lower waterline with like maybe this brown here, oh my goodness, it would not be good. It would be too much. But I feel like the Renaissance Gold color is great because it's got some depth, but it's not like the darkest of dark. If I use black, oh my goodness, I look like an emo kid. It's not for me. I did also get the shade Night Forest. Night Forest is really pretty. It's like a deep, deep, deep green. All right, so it's been like right now, like a minute 20 since these guys have been on. The other ones I was swiping as we went along, so we'll just talk about the ones in Ground Coffee. All right, now it's like a minute 30. If I were to go over this one here, do you see how it still pulls down a little bit? And that's just one line, but when you build the line, because these glide so easily, you can go back and work on that one place where, okay, my skin now that my eyes are older kind of bunches up a little bit, and I skipped it, and it wasn't the pencil that skipped, it was that my eyelid bunched up and like, boop, boop. I have to go back and fill in that spot. When you do that and you do it like this, look what happens. It's just, it doesn't set. It doesn't set. Right now we're at 204. So the whole thing that it sets down in 40 seconds, no. Even when you have just one single pass of it, it still doesn't set down. Now here's what I'll tell you. I find that these will set when I take like a line of it and then I buff it out with a brush. And I feel like I'm picking up any of the excess product and then I leave it alone, then it sets because it's not like a thick line over the top of itself. I also find that if I pick these up, say like on a brush like this, I'll pick some up on there and then I'll use it to stamp it into my upper waterline or to stamp it in or draw it on along my lash line. They last longer. Do they last all day without ever creasing? No, because my left eye is forever like leaking. I told you earlier that it was gonna probably have problems. This formula does not stand up to my watery eye. And I'm not having a cry, it's just my eye is perpetually like, angry and always crying? I don't know. So this formula ends up like if I draw a little wing out here, by the end of the day, I'll have a wing on this side and nothing over here. Because anytime I go in and I dab my eye, I'm picking up eyeliner. Now, I love how they glide. They're beautiful. I love the colors. I think the colors are beautiful and nuanced. Like I tell you, I can't stop wearing Renaissance gold because I don't have another shade like it. A lot of the other golds that I have are more yellow gold or a little lighter. They don't have the depth. They don't have the nuance. I love the shade Night Forest. Beautiful. Green, love, stunning. But I'll tell you, I wanted this in ground coffee to be my favorite because I live for a brown liner, but not one that does this. I feel like if they had said these are glidey, beautiful pencils that you need to set with powder or just to manage expectations, I think the reason these are a fail for me is because they said they were one thing and then I could never get it to do that for me. Now, I've loved so many Lisa Eldridge products. I love the Elevated Glow Highlight. I love the lip products. Love the lip products. I love her Seamless Skin Foundation. There are so many things that she makes that I love so much. And I think if my expectations had been different, I would have fallen in love with these because I'm still using them. I'm still wearing them. I like them, but they're not what they said they were gonna be. And that's when I was like, no. Thank you so much for watching. I normally incorporate some like lifestyle favorites, like, maybe a show that I've been watching or a book that I've been reading. And I didn't do as much of that this month. This month has been kind of weird for me. Like it's been like 4.5 weeks of recovery from my surgery. So there was a lot of medication, there was a lot of sleeping, there was a lot of time in bed, and my mom was visiting. So I was spending time with my mom, just kind of around the house chatting. So I haven't done as much of that, but I would love to know, have you read any book that you're like obsessed with? Have you been watching a show that you're like, oh my goodness, if you haven't, or a movie, oh my goodness, I want to hear all about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Or if there's something that you do every day that brings you joy, especially this month, let me know in the comment section down below. It could be as simple as making your cup of coffee and going and sitting out on the front porch. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.